All right, welcome back to the bluegrass on this beautiful February afternoon. I'm out with Taji. Taji is an awesome Central Asian Shepherd. A few of you guys have seen Taji on some other videos and guessed right that he was a Central Asian Shepherd. And we're out doing a little bit of black lab therapy. In other words, we're doing a little bit of remedial dog socialization with Taji. Oh, and we're trying to learn how to influence Taji, right? Okay, when you're dealing with these big land race livestock guardian dogs, you have to be realistic with yourself and understand that there's not a whole lot of influencing that's going to happen here, right? I mean, basically I've bought a dog that is bred to be big and powerful and independent and make choices kind of based on the way he perceives what's going on in the environment, okay? And so this isn't like training a dog that's been bred for generations to do a complex job in conjunction with a handler, right? There's a lot more management involved in keeping this type of dog, and there's a whole lot more like just coming to agreements in terms of what type of situations Taji's going to fit in with and what my expectations can be based on his genetics, because his genetics in terms of behavioral preferences are so well established. Okay, but basically we're out here working on our small challenges course, and we're trying to help Taji learn that he has to be able to be influenced even when there's a lot of distracting things going on in the environment. Okay, and so for those of you familiar with my channel, you know that I'm a big proponent of Black Labrador Retrievers. That's my mentor dog group, and they do a really good job of helping me get dogs in good shape in terms of how the dogs perceive other dogs and how the dogs learn to interact with other dogs, okay? But Taji's life, we can't count on him always being around just a whole bunch of nice other black labs. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to bring a couple of dogs out that are known to maybe not be the best with other dogs. And one of the dogs, a Catahoula Leopard Dog, you've actually seen in another video I just posted with Taji. I had Taji off the leash, and I had the Catahoula Leopard Dog on the leash, and the Catahoula Leopard Dog was giving Taji a hard time, okay? So we're going to let a German Shepherd out and just kind of let her roam around, and she might come over here and aggravate Taji. She might bark at him, okay? We'll see how that goes. And then we're going to let Hank go, our Catahoula Leopard Dog, and that's what's going to be interesting, because the last time that Hank and Taji were around each other, Hank was on the leash, and he kept going after Taji like he was going to attack him, okay? Now, reading dog posture, reading dog interactions, it's an art, guys. It's not a science, and that's why sometimes I put up these videos and I have people comment below. And the reason that I don't give exact answers is because usually there's not exact answers. Dog training is an art. It's not a science, okay? And so what we're going to do today is we're going to show some of the art of dog training, and then for you experts out there, you can go ahead and put your opinions down in the comment section. And then for all the rest of us, we'll read those comments, and we'll probably take note of the fact that very few experts agree on much of anything, okay? So, like, take this just for an example here. I need Taji to get his big body through this little hole. Now, there's no convincing Taji that, that's a good idea without me learning to be creative. So I'm going to try a couple of things. I got one really good kind of treat that he likes. Maybe I can convince him to get his big old head through here with this treat. Very nice. Okay. And if I can't do that, maybe I can get down here and sweet talk him a little bit. And if I can't do that, then maybe what I have to do is treat him like probably the kind of, treat him how the people that have had this dog for thousands of years treat him, and that's just make them do things because they say so, right? Okay, very nice. You're a good boy, Taji. Now come over here, cameraman, and you'll see that Taji looks too big to make it through this hole, okay? So it looks like I'm setting him up for failure. But this is what I think about these kind of dogs. They're remarkably limber. That's what's amazed me about this dog, and I have some other LGDs that come out here, and I've like always been surprised at how they can weasel themselves into weird spots and out of weird spots. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of make a little food trail here and see if we can't convince Taji that coming through this tire is a good idea. Now I don't know if it's possible, okay? And this might end up wasting a lot of time on this video, but it might be possible. Very nice. You're a smart dog, Taji. Are you too big for my tire? Are you too big for my tire? Very good. Very good boy. Come on, come on. Very good boy. Now, you know what? If I was in Tajikistan and I was a shepherd, I'd probably get my clicker out right about now, because I hear that's what they do in Tajikistan, is a lot of clicker training. Oh my gosh, he said, I get a paw through there, Stonnie. Very nice. Now, for those of you who are wondering, like what the point of what I'm doing is, I'm literally just trying to come to an agreement with Taji that like I would never ask him to do something that he can't do. Okay, you know, and it doesn't matter whether it's this tire. I mean, that's just what we're working on right now. But like ultimately, like I just use this tire or whatever obstacle that we find in our environment. I just use it as, you know, as something to do. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it. I just want Taji to understand that I wouldn't ever ask him to do something. I wouldn't put him in a position where I think he's going to fail. And you'll notice that I got down there and I did that with him, okay? That's because I want him to understand, like, we're in this together, you know? I can tell you one thing you don't want to do with these big dogs like this is, like, try to boss them around, okay? Because they're big and strong, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying it can't be done, okay? Because, you know, I was making a joke about the guys in Tajikistan with their clickers. Of course, that's not really happening. You know, from their point of view, dog's gonna do what they said or else, right? But you are not from Tajikistan, you know? So you ain't gonna get one of these big giant dogs and just boss them around and be the dominant leader, be the alpha, whatever you want to talk about. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to stop here for 1 second. Hey, Charlotte, run in there and get me a German Shepherd, please. And we're going to let Lily out. Lily is about a 7, 8 month old German Shepherd. She's here. She's had a lot of good training, but like most German Shepherds, you know, she gets aroused pretty easily. And Taji has consistently like made her a little bit nervous. And so what she do when she's nervous, she hackles up and she shows her teeth and she tries to, you know, tell Taji that she's not the type of dog to be messed with. Okay, so we're gonna let her out, and then, come on, Taji, and then we're gonna see how Taji does with her off the leash. Very nice. Now we're just going to kind of walk around. You can see her hackles. If I can get over here. Come on. Now you can see her hackles kind of coming up a little bit, but she's doing a lot better today in that she's not barking and carrying on. But now look, I'm starting to have a lot of trouble holding Taji. Let me put him here on this table again, cameraman, so you can see him maybe a little better. Come on, Taji. Very nice. There we go. Good, good. Now what I'm doing here is a concept called pattern overlayment, right? I teach this pattern, and then whenever like I need to work on confidence with dogs or whatever, I can put them into the pattern. And since they both know kind of what to do in this circumstance, it takes a little bit of the decision making off of them, and it kind of shifts a certain amount of deference over to me, right? And so, very nice, good dog. You very nice. And you can see that Lily's doing a pretty good job accepting, you know, Taji's overtures there. And look at him, I mean, you can kind of tell, and this is subtle. Again, dog training is an art, but don't be being ornery. But you can kind of tell just the way that Taj carries himself, okay, that he's not particularly interested in like what Lily thinks about her own personal space. Does that make sense? So like he's not at all worried about her, and he's not really thinking about being too mean to her, right? But like he would definitely, like if I let him off the leash, he definitely doesn't respect the other dogs when it comes to them telling him that they don't want to play or that they don't want him in their personal space. And you can see why. I mean, he doesn't have to. He's a giant, right? You know? But I want you to think about where, you know, where problems can manifest out of that. If you have a big dog like this, even if he's friendly and even if he's trying to be outgoing, okay, not every other dog is going to feel that way about his actions, and they might take what he's doing as a threat or as just being rude. And then if they snap at him or bite at him, which is a normal thing for dogs to do, if he reacts, okay, he doesn't even have to use a large percentage of his physical prowess, okay? In other words, he doesn't even have to try to hurt another dog to just kill him, you know? And so that's what we got to be very, very careful about, is getting him out here, okay? And making sure that as we're introducing other dogs to him, we put him in a situation where he can win. Oh my gosh. Both in terms of getting socialization, but also in terms of not harming the other dogs, okay? Again, the purpose of what I'm doing here, multifold, right? Okay, so I'm doing a pattern with him. I'm teaching him to pay attention to me and work in a cooperative manner under high levels of distraction, okay? So I'm taking some of the focus that he would have on Hanabi and putting it on me and on the course, okay? I'm also teaching him that I wouldn't put him in situations where, like, he can't be successful. But I'm also teaching him, like, once we learn a skill, okay, the skill, what I'm asking is not negotiable, okay? So even though, like right here, I know he's gonna struggle with his tire a little bit, it's not negotiable. He wants to get over here and see Hanabi. He wants to get over here and get these treats, right? He's gonna have to learn how to focus and buckle down, okay? This is what we call access via indirect action, okay? Very nice. If he keeps doing well on the leash, then I'm going to give him off the leash time. Come on, dude. You can do it. Very nice. Better break out my Tajikistan clicker. Let me see. Oh my gosh, come this way. Come on. You go. Nope. All right, so like right there, what happened? And I'm not 100% for sure. I don't know whether Hanabi just kind of accidentally ran around the corner and scared Taji, or like she, for whatever reason, run around there and nipped him. Who knows what happened, right? But I know that that's the kind of situation I was talking about a minute ago, where, where something can go wrong, and if something goes wrong with a dog like this, it can be really bad, you know. Very nice. Now we'll see if that affects his ability to focus and come under here. He's kind of side-eyeing this German Shepherd now. Very nice. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Very good. Now, these dogs, this dog, Kangal, Anatolian Shepherds, the other kinds of LGDs that I've had out here, they're kind of weird in that if they have a little bit of a bad experience, they don't have a ton of temperamental resilience. And I've talked about this with other breeds of dogs, like especially with pit bulls and a little bit with that Catahoula Leopard Dog that I have. Oftentimes, and this is weird, but you'll have dogs that have really high physical pain tolerances, so it takes a lot to kind of hurt them or hurt their feelings. To kind of hurt them, but they have low temperamental resilience, and so their feelings get hurt real easy, and they don't recover. And so not only, like if you're training this kind of big dog, not only is it hard to train one just using compulsion because they're so big and they have a high pain tolerance, the problem is that you have to ride that line so fine that if you accidentally correct them a little bit too hard, they'll shut down on you, and they'll stay shut down on you for days or weeks, you know. It's a real weird situation. So I think, like, what I've found, and I'm by no means an expert on these kind of dogs, but what I've found is that you kind of have to think in terms of like a real steady, type of mental pressure where you put them in situations where you know they're going to have to work hard, but like you don't really so much correct them as you just take away the options to not succeed. Very nice. Come on, buddy. I might have to get him started again a little different way. You can do it. Come here. You got your leg stuck in the wrong place. Now sometimes, guys, remember we're getting back to that idea that dog training is an art. Sometimes, like, you'll be working on something and I'll tell you to be patient, And like, you got to be careful on being patient, because sometimes you've made a mistake. And like right there, you see how I wasn't able to get that dog like started through the tunnel, okay? Well, what had happened is the way this foot placement had went is he had put watch out, nerd. He had put his foot like down in my other tire, and he was kind of stuck. So I had to get him restarted. Come on, nerd, you can do it. Come on. Let's bring out the Tajikistan clicker for the good boy. Very good boy. Very good boy. That's a good boy. You can do it. Come on. Oh my gosh, look how smart that dog is. Look how smart he is. Oh, and I wish you guys could see that one leg of his back there. It's kind of got him bent up. Now look, I saw that. Did you guys see that? You see Honaby come up here and snap at him? That's not very nice, Honaby. Good boy, but I'm happy with his reaction. Very nice. Maybe if I back up just a little bit. Come on, dude, you can do it. Come on, Taji. Oh, not that direction. Let's try it again. Come on. Come here. Hey, come here, nerd. Good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a very good boy. What you doing with that leg, though? Come on, you can do it. Good dog. Come on, you can do it. What's your leg doing back there? What's that big leg? Look at this big leg right here. Look at that big leg. Put that big leg through that tunnel. Oh, there's one leg. What's the other leg? Oh my gosh. Now, if you're in the dog boarding business and training business, what you always have to think about, no, Honaby. What you always have to think about is like how much time per day does each type of dog cost, right? So you'll notice in this situation, like Taji is not a profitable type of dog to keep. Okay, and the reason he's not profitable, come on, nerd, is because everything takes a really long time with him, and we have to do everything with him all by himself. Okay, now, so watch. I think what we're having a problem with is the fact that Honaby is kind of being a little bit mean to Taji. Okay, so what's what I'm gonna do? Let's see if I can't take Honaby out of the equation there. I'm gonna tie her to the four-wheeler wagon for 1 second, right? So Taji doesn't have to worry about her getting him. Come on, nerd. Come on, come on. And like, you see how I had to do that, where like Honaby's coming up here and she's being a little bit mean to this dog. So people that have this type of dog, I mean, when I say this type of dog, I don't mean necessarily a Central Asian Shepherd, but I'm just talking about big, powerful dogs. Come on. Big, powerful dogs that have the capacity to hurt other dogs. A lot of times what you'll hear them say when their dog ends up hurting another dog is that, well, their dog didn't start it. Well, look, guys, having this kind of dog means that you're going to have a level of responsibility that other people don't have, because you're the one that owns the dog that's capable of killing and maiming other dogs very quickly. You know, if somebody has a dachshund and that dachshund, you know, it causes a bunch of trouble at the dog park, okay, so what? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's horrible, and their owners are horrible for not socializing them and training them well enough, but nobody dies. If you've got this dog, or you got 2 pit bulls and you're at the dog park, then that's a big deal, you know? Come on, nerd, you can do it, we're almost there. Come on, we're almost there. I got that mean Honaby. Now, see how he keeps looking around there at Honaby? Come on, nerd. Come on. That's it, good boy. Very good. Oh, that's the greatest boy I've ever seen. Oh, look at that good boy. He's a very good boy, Mom. Look at that good boy. Oh, look at him. Come on, you can. Oh my gosh, he did it. Oh my gosh, so much patience required there. All right, now I'll let this dog off. I'm sure she's going to go back to being a little bit on the aggravating side. Yeah. Now, okay, I'm sure some of you are wondering, you know, why I'm letting Honaby kind of be aggravating like that. I wanted to give you an honest overview of what you might run into at the park. You might be a spectator, or you might be involved in this kind of behavior. Where you can look in the other videos, and Honaby's getting along well with many of the other dogs. Honaby and the dog I'm fixing to let out next, they really just do not like Taji, right? And sometimes dogs just don't like each other. And when that happens, they have to be managed. You guys have to understand that there's not a training issue that fixes every relationship problem, you know. Relationships with dogs are just like relationships with people. You know, some of them, there's just irreconcilable differences. Oh, and if you have dogs that have irreconcilable differences that are also very large and powerful, then you have to manage it in such a way as the dog stays safe and the people around the dog stay safe. Okay, Charlotte, go ahead and let Hank out. All right, now this is where it's going to get interesting. Okay, cameraman, where's the best angle? I think I should get back up on this table here. All right, so we're going to go get Hank. And Hank's going to come out, and he's going to probably be mean to Taji. Now, what I'm anxious to see is what effect Hank being mean to Taji has on Honaby. Honaby, or Lily, her and Hank are pretty tight. They're kind of thick as thieves. And you guys know how people are on a playground, right? You have young people and they gang up on another young person. Well, you'll have the same thing happen with dogs. Okay, so we're going to see right now what Hank does. And, okay, I don't think you'll be able to see him. Let me get down here on the ground, cameraman, so you can see a little better. Come here, Taji. There we go. Okay, now look at this posture. Hey, nerd. Look at this posture. Stop, dude. You see he comes right out, it bows up. You can see the hair standing up on him, and that was very similar. That was very similar to Honaby, right? Okay. Now, let me tell you something about having these kind of dogs, a German Shepherd or a Catahoula or a big old LGD. Okay, in one of the videos that I made where I was talking about the Catahoula killing its owner, I said that an old man had told me, he said, never have a dog that you can't whip. And, you know, some people didn't know how to take that, right? Because we don't really live in a world anymore. We don't really live in a world anymore where people have a lot of common sense, right? Okay, but I'm out here with my 10-year-old daughter, my 50-year-old wife, and I have 3 dogs out here that if I couldn't physically control them, this could turn into a mess where my daughter or my wife or me get maimed or injured for life, okay? So, guys, you can go, you know, run around with your Tajikistan clickers and train these dogs like this all you want, but ultimately, okay, if you can't handle a situation where things are happening like what's happening right here, okay, then you do not need this kind of dog. And let me tell you this, if you go to the park and you see somebody with this type of dog, okay, most likely you best just leave them alone, ignore them, right? But you better pray that that person can whip that dog, because what are you going to do if that dog gets on you? You know what I'm saying? I can let Hank run around out here and be a little bit rude to Taji. I can let Honaby, you know, run around out here and be a little bit rude to Taji, because what I'm making Taji understand is that I'm not putting him in situations that don't work out for him, just like I was doing with the tunnel, okay? Everything's the same in dog training. There's nothing new, there's nothing fancy, okay? I can handle the situations. If I need him to go through the tunnel, we're gonna work through the tunnel. If I need to deal with some Catahoula Leopard Dog that runs up on him or some pit bull, I'll do whatever it takes to keep him safe and hopefully to keep the other dog safe. If you can't get your head around having that kind of attitude, right? If you can't get your head around the idea that you might have to physically intervene to keep dogs safe from other dogs and people safe from dogs, okay, then you're living in a fantasy world, okay? And ain't no one is more positive than me with dogs, right? Nobody exercises them more. Come on, you can do it. Nobody rewards them more. Nobody sets up situations for the dogs to be integrated into lives more than I do, okay? But all that aside, at the end of the day, I'm responsible for keeping all these dogs safe, right? So I have to, in my own mind, know how far I can let all these dogs push each other. I have to know in my mind, I have to have a threshold in my mind for when things start getting to a point where, like if they went completely south, I wouldn't be able to control it, okay? Now, I think you guys should all be pretty satisfied with Taji's progress here. I mean, when he first got here, first thing he did was bowed up 3 separate occasions, 3 separate dogs, got over the top of them, grabbed them by their neck, shaking them and carrying on. I intervened. We've been doing black lab therapy every day, did a little bit of muzzle work, okay? And now, even these dogs, Honaby and Hank, who both are really, they really kind of pick on Taji, to be honest with you. Now, I ain't saying that in the dog world, in the dog science world of how Taji carries himself, that he don't, you know, he doesn't deserve a little bit of picking on, because he does kind of act like he's a cool kid in school, right? Okay, but I have to admit that I'm pretty happy with him, okay? So what did we learn today, okay? We learned that pattern overlayment is very important. Guys, if you have a big dog like this and you need to introduce him to new and novel concepts, you know, start you some patterns, right, okay, where you can get deference to you in certain situations using those patterns, and then gradually introduce the novel stimulation into the situation, okay? We learned that, you know, physically, somebody has to be in control, right? Okay, so in the other video, I had Hank on the leash and I had Taji off the leash, okay? And in this video, I had Taji on the leash and I had Hank and Honaby off the leash. We learned that life's not fair, okay? So today, Taji was being good. He was just trying to work on getting through the tunnel, and that's hard for a big dog like him. And Honaby was kind of picking on him and making him nervous, right? And he still had to perform. He still had to meet my expectations, so we learned that, right? And then we let Hank out, and Hank postured with Taji and kind of tried to bully him a little bit. And Taji didn't get to stand up for himself. He didn't get to prove that he's the bigger dog, you know, on the yard today. Okay, he had to defer to me. And so we taught him, listen, even when he's challenged by another dog, like, he has to defer to his handler. So all in all, I was pretty happy with the way that that went, and we'll keep you posted on Taji's progress, and I hope you found this video interesting. Put your thoughts below if you think I did anything wrong or right, and I'll be anxious to hear what you experts and aficionados have to say. See y'all next week.